Melissa Lowe's here with us. Obviously, this is a really hotly contested seat, about a three-way race. At the end of the day, it's looking like you'll probably get up as one of those two candidates, the two main candidates. Do you think it'll be against John Pesutto or John Kennedy?
I think John Pesutto at this stage. That seems to be what everybody's, what it feels like in the electorate and what it looks like. I don't know that I've seen a very strong campaign from Labor in this seat, and I don't think they really expect to win it. They didn't expect to win it the first time. So yeah.
We had that polling out last night, and I know I never trust the polls, but look, it does seem to be favouring Labor, and it seems to be favouring them in a majority. I know you obviously want to be part of any minority government as one of those crossbenchers, or at least in a key crossbench voice. Have you been paying any attention to general polling at this election?
A little bit, but not a huge amount. I've been having a look at what happened in Hawthorn and what happened in Hawthorn in the last campaign and looking there, and that looks good for us. Across the board, it's been a difficult campaign, I think, for everybody. Everybody's working really hard, but yeah.
How's it been? Because I imagine you've been out of pre-polling, and we're also just here, really reasonably early hours of polling this morning. I imagine you've been speaking to voters. How is it in this kind of three-way race? Because it seems like you want to get votes from obviously all sides, I imagine, but this is a seat where you have the person who was defeated last election actually coming back, and it's barely regarded as a Labor seat anyway based on history. How has it been?
It's been really positive. There's a community here that wants different. They actually don't want party politics anymore. They're done. They want actually somebody to voice their opinions, voice what they need. So this is a Hawthorn electorate and a Hawthorn community, and the community's running, and I happen to be the lucky person to be representing that.
And look, we've had so many attacks from the Liberals this campaign. I don't just mean in Hawthorn as well. Teal Party or fake independent or anything like that. Do you think any of that might work in terms of them trying to regain this seat, or do you think it's just a lot of noise?
I think it works for the Liberals. That's who are only, and it's really interesting that teal is now in the dictionary as somebody on climate action, on independent.
Yeah, word of the year.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, right? So teal's a word. So call me a teal as much as you like, because I'm independent and I'm here for climate action.
Melissa Lowe, thank you.
Thank you so much, Leonardo.
I think I've become about sixth in a field of eight, but I'm happy to be here, increasing the profile of our party and the message it's got, and we've got a real chance in the upper house. We've already got two members of the Legislative Council, David Limbrick and Tim Quilty, and they've done an outstanding job in the last term of the Victorian Parliament. We'd love to get them back and more with them.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to David Limbrick on occasion, and also covered what he and Tim Quilty have done. Do you reckon that kind of, especially with COVID, the protests that the Liberal Democrats did, do you reckon voters are going to remember that, especially the ones who might be angry at the lockdowns, and we're at a school here, so the school closures?
Well, I hope that people maintain a reasonable level of anger about mishandling of the pandemic. I'm not sure how much that is happening here, but we're certainly a party that voted more against the Andrews government excesses than any other party. We've passed 25% of their legislation, and so we haven't been unreasonable. If they come up with something good, we're happy to consider it seriously. We'll always look at policies that have low tax and try and reduce the size of government, and certainly we hated many of the lockdowns, mandates and pandemic powers.
Yeah, and I reckon that I believe actually the coalition voted more with the Labor in the upper house than you guys have done, which is pretty big figure. I was just going to say, apart from not just in this seat in general, but there are so many minor parties running in this election. What is the one thing? Yeah, what is the one thing you reckon makes the Liberal Democrats stand out?
The Liberal Democrats have been around for 20 years. We're a party of principle, standing on classical liberal libertarian lines, so we're consistent. We've got the score on the board from the upper house. People know where they stand with us. Other new parties have appeared as angry and anti-Dan parties or freedom parties, and it's very uncertain where they're going to stand on a whole range of policies, whereas with us where we're going to stand. We're predictable, and that's very important when you want to express your democratic will in a vote.
We're going to be covering this racehorse closely and covering the Liberal Democrat Richard Peppard. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Leonardo.